Works in Milnerton in Cape Town, a major project aimed at doubling the plant's capacity, which has begun. The Public Works Minister has been inspecting that work, joining Vaylen Kirtley as well there this morning. Vaylen, let me hand it over straight to you then, as we hopefully get a little bit more improvement when it comes to wastewater facilities.
Thank you very much, Arabila. And with a city that is experiencing an exponential growth and those that are moving down, this is a key area that they need to ensure keeps up to speed with any kind of population increase. The Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure, Dean Macpherson, joins us now. Thank you so much, Minister, for chatting to us here on Newzroom Afrika. What were your initial thoughts having come to the Potsdam and seeing how far they've gotten?
Well, I think that it is unbelievable to see how on time and on budget they are. This is the single largest wastewater treatment build in the country, 5.2 billion rand, being entirely funded by the city. And to see how they are actually ahead of their timelines and on budget is spectacular. And that's the kind of progress that we want to see. I think that there's a lot that we should be learning from what the City of Cape Town is doing on infrastructure building for the future, not just for the present. I really commend the work that they're doing. We've got a number of ministers across Africa that are here with us as well, which is excellent, so they can see it, and it forms part of the build-up to our symposium on sustainable infrastructure that will be beginning tomorrow. We will also be launching our new top 12 projects that are multi-billion rand projects in their own right, as well as the second version of the construction book. Because at the end of the day, what we want to see is a country under construction that is igniting growth and growing jobs. And I think the city is absolutely leading the way in that, and we need to recognize that and learn from what they're doing.
Last week we had the budget speech, the minister saying that over the next 3 years, 1 trillion rand is going to be going into infrastructure. Obviously, there's been some consultation, but how did you receive that news, knowing that this is a key area that is not only of importance for national government, but that the minister is going to get behind in Treasury?
It's the right call. We must be investing in infrastructure, just as the city is, so the country needs to. And so 1 trillion rand, it's not enough, but it's a good start. And we support the allocations that have been made. We also lobbied for the Budget for Infrastructure Committee to not just sit once a year, but they're now sitting 4 times a year. That's progress. And so those allocations have increased from 3.5 billion rand to 14 billion rand. That is absolutely good progress. And those are government's contributions into those projects to de-risk them, to make them more appealing to public, at least private sector investment. And that's the model that we've got to go down. And I've also encouraged the City of Cape Town to do the same, that we've got to into more triple Ps. We've got to crowd in the private sector. We've got to crowd in their money. We've got to look at concessions as to how we can get them to build those projects on our behalf and then transfer them back after a period of time. And so I really want to commend MMC Budredeen, Mayor Hill Lewis, for the work that they're doing. I think that what the Minister of Finance has laid out is good news for South Africa. It's putting pay to turning this country into a construction site. And I think in the years to come, South Africa will look a very different country than to what it is now.
You say 1 trillion over 3 years is a small amount of money, especially when we're looking at multi-billion rand projects. And we need so many more massive infrastructure projects around the country. How do you sift out what is at the top of your priority list? This facility that we're looking at here, which we'll chat to the MMC a little bit more and get the technicalities around, this was funded by the residents of Cape Town, but other cities have got a similar need, but their cities are not able to do that.
Municipal infrastructure is the crisis of this country. And that's why we have stepped in through Infrastructure South Africa to pilot with 4 municipalities around how we can help them deliver municipal infrastructure. The reality is that this budget has got to focus on infrastructure projects around energy, around transport and logistics, water and wastewater. Those are the key focuses of infrastructure for the country at the moment. We've got to build for the future. We've got to be a country that's building 20, 30 years in advance. And so while R1 trillion is a lot of money, I think just as an example, when we launched our project preparation funding window, we received 1.2 trillion rand worth of projects just on that. So the issue is not about the projects themselves, it's about funding for projects. So we've got to scale that up massively, and I think that we can do that over time.
Minister, we are going to chat to you a little bit more because this Arabile actually kicks off what is going to be a 2-day symposium, Sustainable Infrastructure Development, that gets underway tomorrow. There were ministers here from Uganda, from Lesotho, from Swaziland and Namibia that came to walk through the Potsdam Water Treatment Facility and hear about the upgrades that are currently underway and should go online by 2027. So we'll be hearing a lot more from the Minister. Thank you very much. He's got a briefing a little bit later on, but I'm going to bring in the MMC, Zaid Boudreddin from the City of Cape Town. He deals with municipal infrastructure and sanitation. So the money that was raised, the 5.2 billion rand that has been injected into this project to double the capacity of this facility came from the residents, but that couldn't have been an easy ask.
Yeah, important to keep in mind that 5.2 billion rand isn't necessarily a 5.2 billion rand in 1 year. The project is to be built over a number of years, and so that 5.2 billion rand is for this particular project over the project lifeline. And it's as you said that the City of Cape Town has raised these funds from the raised and taxes that the residents pay towards us for basic services that are essential to keep our municipality running. But we do know, and as the Minister has now said as well, that there is a capital intensive municipal infrastructure program in our city alone, and so it's important for us to consider other funding options which may be of use and of benefit for us to fund our water projects, our sanitation projects going into the future.
MNC, we just did a walkthrough of the facility and these dams that are behind you, in fact, they're actually going to be demolished. Yeah. Just explain to us the kind of technology that's going to be used and just how much of a smell may affect some of the residents around Milnerton.
Yeah, so any wastewater treatment works is made up of various processes. I think the main important one is the inlet works, where whatever is happening on the site is needed for that facility to be optimized. And so we're building a new inlet works at this facility. Where we're standing now is basically an amalgamation of various upgrades over a number of years, 1997, 2008, and now the most latest works that we're doing. And so putting these various packages together, the inlet works, the dewatering facilities, the ultrafiltration units, etc., is important for us because ultimately as the sewage makes its way through this value chain, what we want to discharge at the very end is the best quality effluent possible, because ultimately that's being discharged back into the environment, and protecting the environment is important to us. And so these investments are key, not only from that perspective, but also from a city growth perspective. We're about to hit, if not already surpass 5 million people in our city. We're standing in a catchment that's probably the fastest growing, one of the fastest growing catchments in our city. And so at this plant, in addition to all of those technological advancements and investments that we're making, we're also doubling the capacity from 47 to about 100 megalitres a day that we'll be able to treat here where we're standing.
Is it on track to still go online completely and totally by 2027?
Absolutely, and the project's actually doing much better than its own time frame. We're bringing online in the next few weeks certain processes. Our dewatering facility will start to go online within the next 3 or 4 weeks or so, which immediately then will start to have an improvement on our treated effluent. And this project is doing so well that we're actually able to add additional funding from other projects within the Water and Sanitation Directorate, because it's able to cope with the demand and also speed up where it's possible for it to do so.
There was a proposal to increase tariffs in the city just prior to the previous budget. That received a lot of resistance, however. So perhaps this model of raising tariffs may not be sustainable.
I understand the frustration of residents. Residents, when it comes to their own rands and cents, is already impacted severely just in their own household. But in the Water and Sanitation Directorate, we are able to show very clearly where residents' rates and taxes are going. 5.2 billion project here, number of other wastewater treatment works currently underway, pipe replacement programs in our water and our sanitation spaces, treated effluent expansion programs, pump station expansion programs. So it's very important that residents understand that it's not that the city is raising its rates for the sake of raising its rates, but there are important key projects that need to be invested in order to secure the future of our city. And yes, the demand and the inconvenience may be felt specifically now by our residents, but also very clearly we can show them where their money is going to.
Zaid Badruddin is the MMC for Municipal Infrastructure and Sanitation. Thank you so much for your time chatting to us on Newzroom Afrika. And Arabila, I know that you are quite an engineer. I know that you may need to also put that engineering mind to what your football teams may do in the brand new season to engineer their way into the top half of the table and perhaps 2 more trophies. But let's actually speak to somebody that'll be able to unpack the kind of engineering and the kind of technology that's being used here at this water treatment works. Chris Norman heads up the water treatment works in the city of Cape Town. Just a quick one. What would you say is the key kind of technology that you guys are using that is new to the water treatment works, specifically for the needs of Cape Town?
Okay, thank you. So this is a traditional wastewater treatment works. But what we're doing as part of this upgrade is we are introducing membranes for the solid liquid separation step. And in fact, those membranes would replace clarifiers or settling tanks just like this. And the advantage is it provides a far superior treated effluent, free of most contaminants, and really helps us achieve the compliance of the water use licenses. But it also links very closely to our water strategy and our need to diversify our water resources mix by having this high quality treated effluent available for industrial users.
Once this gets online, that water is going to be going to the farmers and for irrigation purposes. It's not going back into homes?
No, it would also be for industrial users. The whole goal is that those users would then take strain off the potable water network, which is far more expensive to produce. But because we are using such advanced technology now at this facility, there is future possibilities and linkages to another potential potable reuse scheme tying in with the nearby reservoir, Plattekloof Reservoir. So there's a whole lot of potential for what we do with this treated effluent. It's no longer wasted, it's a circular economy approach.
Speaking about potential, there's even a potential to be making some electricity, to be making some energy to put into the national grid from what you guys are doing here. That is maybe some years away, but can you just explain that?
So the city has a vision of pivoting its wastewater treatment works to more water resource recovery facilities where we will utilize the liquid stream, the treated effluent, but as well as the sludge. You can actually digest the sludge, generate biogas, and from that you can generate electricity. And the city has a strategy of and identified 3 sort of regional facilities that will cater for a number of plants where this process will take place. This plant will be linked to a regional facility situated near Cape Flats. And those are more longer-term plans in motion.
Chris Norman, thank you very much for chatting to us from the wastewater treatment works in the city of Cape Town. And Arabile, they also keep a humorous note here as you walk into the offices. It says, your number 2 is our number 1.
Look, Vaylen, earlier you said, I have engineering, ambitions of some sort. I can tell you right now that those would probably fallen by the wayside a long time ago, including my accounting dreams actually as well. But nonetheless, thank you so much for bringing us that insight then, of course, a very important campaign there.